A day after Senator Malcolm Smith and 5 others were arrested for a pay-to-play plot, good government groups are saying enough is enough. They're calling on the state now to implement campaign finance reform and to restore the trust of the people, something they say is easier said than done. And Capitol correspondent Pat Bailey joins us now from the Albany Bureau with details on what they want and how they want it done. Pat?
Well, Liz, you're right there. There's a laundry list of statewide elected representatives who have been mixed up with trouble just over the past decade alone. Even more glaring, in the past 3 years, there have been 10 cases ranging from corruption charges to bribery to tax evasion outside the very chamber that has seen some senators come and go, some leaving early due to problems with the law. A handful of good government groups made their case for campaign finance reform. Now, they believe public funds and oversight will not stop all cases of fraud, but say it's a start. As for the charges against Senator Smith, the group believes it is not an isolated incident. In fact, the head of the New York Public Interest Research Group says the public's trust at this point in state government is so little that they are now at the point of just waiting for the next corruption case to come along.
This has become routine arrests for similar malfeasances. I don't know who else might be engaged in such activity, but I would be surprised if we went through the rest of 2013 without seeing at least one more arrest based off of recent trends.
Now, that was the head of NYPIRG you heard there, and according to the research done by NYPIRG, since 2000 there have been 29 lawmakers in trouble with the law themselves. Now, NYPIRG says in the past 6 years alone, only 9 state senators, get this list, have been voted out of office, but 11 of them have been arrested. We want to hear from you. Where does your faith in state government stand? Log on to the CBS 6 Facebook page and share your thoughts with us, please. I'll have much more on this, Liz, coming up tonight at 5 and 6.
You know, it's interesting, Pat, when you see those statistics, 29 lawmakers and many of them being returned to office, you would think that these government groups would also turn to us, the voters, and say, hey, you got to bear some of the blame for this. You keep putting them back in office.
Ultimately, that's where the blame is. If they're not arrested and they don't resign, who's left to blame if they get voted back in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think that campaign finance reform is one way to go about it. But obviously, this is such a broad problem that there's got to be many prongs to this.
Well, the good government groups admit that the campaign finance reform will not, again, clear all the problems, but they say it is a start. They say take the big money out of the campaigns and you won't have so many problems going on. They use the example of Malcolm Smith.
All right. Thank you very much, Pat. We'll look forward to more later on tonight. Well, some 200 Thruway employees could be out of a job today. Toll collectors, maintenance, and clerical workers, they're the ones said to be getting laid off. The Thruway Authority announced the cuts back in January, saying it would save $20 million. The union that represents Thruway employees says it's still talking with the authority to avoid those cuts. We'll have more on the potential layoffs tonight on CBS 6 News beginning at 5.